to a new episode of Review. Today we will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-300ER in the colors of All Nippon Airways or ANA. As always, we start off with the box, and here we can see on the front side we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft inside. And we also have the Aero 500 logo. Then on the back side we have a generic image of a Boeing 777 in the Boeing house colors, and again the Aero 500 logo. So that's clearly somewhere where Aero Classics hasn't spent a lot of money when it comes to designing the box, but let's see if they have also saved money on the aircraft model itself. And here she is, the Boeing 777-300ER in the colors of All Nippon Airways or short ANA. If we take a look at the tail section of the aircraft, you can see on the vertical stabilizer we have the ANA branding. On the fuselage we then have the Japanese flag and the full registration code of the aircraft. If we then move from the back of the aircraft all the way to the front of the aircraft, we can see along the fuselage the writing of Inspiration of Japan. We then also have the ANA branding and the Japanese flag once more. And then we also have the Star Alliance branding, of which ANA is a member. If we take a quick look around the cockpit, we can see some nice markings around the windows here, including the window wipers. So far, so good. Now let's take a closer look at the engine cells, and here we can see we have a little logo. Now, most 777s, I believe, do actually fly with the General Electric 90 engine. But the 777 can also be flown with the Pratt & Whitney PW4000 and the Rolls-Royce Trent 800 engines. In this case, as we can see from the logo, it should be a Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine. Now, I do definitely prefer the General Electric 90 on the 777, but this engine, or at least the model of this engine, doesn't look too bad actually here. We can see some nice details. Also, if you look into the engine, we can see the fan blades, although I don't really like the coloring here. I don't know if this is the genuine coloring of the fan blades, but I guess I would prefer a little bit of a darker color in here. But again, I can't really judge if this is correct or not. Now, the wings on this aircraft model look really nice. They're really nicely detailed, where we, for example, here on the top side have the markings for the emergency exits or the registration code of the aircraft, which we then also find on the underside of the aircraft. Definitely a highlight on this model is also the addition of the landing lights, which definitely is something that is quite rare on 1 to 500 scale aircraft models, even though it's only painted on, but it is still very nice to have it added. Quite decent is also the landing gear of the aircraft. It's slightly different designed than from Harper Wings, mostly because the wheels actually roll, which is something the 1 to 500 scale Harper Wings don't. Also, the front landing gear is quite nice, where we have some nice markings. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartment, which are really nicely detailed here, not just a square box, but actually some more details, both in the back side of the aircraft and also and the front side of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 777-300ER from All Nippon Airways, made by Aero Classic. Now, the aircraft model is really not bad. It has some nice details. The amount of printed details is quite decent. It's definitely in the higher scale compared to Harper Wings. The physical details are also quite decent. I wouldn't say that the print quality as such is as good as Harper's. When touching the surface, it just feels a little bit more fragile, and I think they use a slightly different print technique than, for example, Harper Wings, which could have an influence on the longevity of this model. Now, if you would like me to do a more detailed comparison between a 777-300ER from Aero Classic and Harper Wings, then please do let me know by voting in the poll that is showing up right now in the top right corner of your screen. Also, don't forget that you can still take part in my giveaway that I am doing over at my Instagram account. The link to that is in the description of the video. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like, that would be very nice. Or if you're new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. And don't miss out on the next episode of Review, where we will take a closer look at an Embraer ERJ170 from S7 Airlines. Now with that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.